Hey guys, come on in. I'll start in 20 seconds for those of you watching the recording. Grab a tea. I'm doing live Q&A for the Beautiful Life Lab, which is coming up soon. I have all of your questions that were submitted yesterday to the little Q&A queue that I posted. And so I thought just for ease, I would hop on and do this live instead. And then I don't know what I'll do with the video. I will post the video to the Beautiful Life Lab landing page. Now, for those of you who are popping in live, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. But before I do, I'm gonna put the landing page for what I'm here talking about right there for you guys, in case you're wondering. Now, I'm just curious, of those of you that are on live right now, are any of you in the lab? And if so, I would love to hear what you are stoked about doing this year, now that you've had a year under your belt of working with the design of this program. What I've personally found, I know so many of you can relate to this, when you do something with consistency and you have something that happens in cycles, when you approach it as a beginner again, you are operating at a higher level than you were the first time. You're operating at this new higher level normal in ways that may have felt hard for you in the beginning, right? So I have questions from you I want to address. And if you do have a question, just put it in capital letters and I'll come back and make sure if I do see questions as I'm going, I'll honor those of you that are on live right now, okay? So let me just see who's on. Very cool. Yeah, I'll take one of yours right away. And again, if you could put it in caps for me, then it's easier for me to see it, okay? So Life's a Hoot _holistics says, I have it but never started it. I was overwhelmed. Is that normal? Completely normal. I think that anytime we sign up for something, we feel this way because we have the best intentions and life happens, right? Now, something to know about my programs, I have two really core programs that I offer within my Whole Fit brand. So I have the Ready, Set, Glow Detox, which is a very health-focused program, and then the Beautiful Life Lab, which is all about self-leadership. I would say that they both are, because our greatest opportunity within leadership is to lead the state of our health first, right? That's a real clear indication of whether we can be given more, is how we take care of our temple. So the detox is a form of that, but this program that I'm speaking with you guys about today is really about being your life CEO. I'm going to open up with one of the most meaningful quotes, I guess you could say, by John Irving. It's something that has really impacted me in my life. It's something I think about all the time, and I want to offer this up to you as we come into this conversation. Because no matter where you're at in life, I know that we all have dreams, right? We all have a vision of what might be possible for us in our life. We all have that thing, that North Star, that idea, that vision that's pulling us forward, pulling out of us deeper work at times when it's in the right season, right? But there's a trap that exists for all of us. We get there and then we upper limit ourselves, we sabotage ourselves, we almost seek out ways to bring in the dark. And what I mean by that is we're looking for ways to come back to a state of comfort, and by comfort I mean where most people in our life might be operating. And the reason I'm sharing this, before I even share that quote I was going to say, is in the lab, you guys, there are people who are mamas, there are people who are business owners, there are people who are six-figure earners, there are people who are six-figure earners every month in there. All stages of life. And the reason we're in there, we're committed to doing this work, is because of this quote by John Irving. It goes like this: design the life that you love, but have the courage to live it. You can't quite see my goosebumps. This is the thing, you guys. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Maybe you're not at a point in your life right now where you feel like you have options, or you feel like you have direction, or you feel like you have hope in some way. I do believe that you will be in that place one day soon, or again. Some of you are in that position right now where you have an opportunity in front of you to change not only your life, but to change the life of your family, and not only them, but through that to change the way others feel, the way others recognize what's possible for them because of your example. And when you have such an opportunity in front of you, you will find that you start to grow into it. You work hard because you know that that opportunity is there for you, right? And you will find that you reach a certain level, and you might even grow to a level beyond what you thought was possible. But then very quickly you start to take on the heaviness and the darkness of the world. You start to sabotage your path to help yourself come back to a state of feeling comfortable along with the people with you. And so it does not matter what level of income even you have. This is work. It is work to design a life that has you rooted in your purpose and has you contributing with your gifts at a high level, and through that creating a great deal of abundance, not only in your life, but in the lives of many people, because you're giving us your best. There's a trap that happens at times where you upper limit yourself. You hit that next level and you can't deal with the way it may make people feel around you. And that truly is the work of the lab. It is having the courage to walk out the life that you know you're here to have. And through that, you impact so many people around you. It's tempting to reach this level, any level, and just look for ways to distract you from your purpose. Okay, so the work of the lab may seem like it's about one thing. It may seem like it's about just getting a grip on your schedule or reducing the noise in your life. And that may feel like, oh, if I could only just go throughout my day having more focus. That may be your goal this year in the lab. But what starts to happen is as you do this work, more and more is given to you, more and more opens up, because you're demonstrating that you're able to be given more, that you're handling it. Okay, I got to get into some questions, but I appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. And if you have questions and you're here live, put them in caps. Okay, so I'm not going to read who posted them because some of your handles are very long, so I'm just going to go right into the question. When does it start? Question one. We technically get into the work November 15th. That's when I'm starting the assignments this year. Now it can be very self-led, this program. So you can jump in really anytime. So if starting before the new year doesn't feel good to you, then you can start anytime you want in the new year. It's all there for you, but we really do it as a collective. We have a little over 3,000 people in the lab, and a good majority of them will be doing that work. So if you like the idea of having community as you do something, if you feel like you do more when you're doing it with other people, then you want to be registered by November 15th, or a couple days before that actually would be swell. Is there any discount for those who attended Life Scrub for 5 days? Yes, there is. So let me give you a little tip for those of you that are on live. Life Scrub is a mini program I offer. It's $17, and it's a good warm up to the lab, to be honest. It's a lot of the concepts in the lab in just a quick fashion, right? Where I give you a video or audio if you prefer audio. There's about an hour for each of the 5 days, and it addresses 5 different areas of your life with the intention of reducing the noise. If you purchase Life Scrub, there is a promo code at the back of Life Scrub that you can use towards the Beautiful Life Lab, which essentially would make Life Scrub free, and then some. Okay, so you may want to do that if you haven't purchased any of my programs before. Let's see. How important do I think doing Life Scrub first is before jumping into the Beautiful Life Lab? They're similar, but the Beautiful Life Lab, you guys, is like the work. It's being in community. The Life Scrub is just a mini program. It's something that you just do on your own. You get it, like a 15-page ebook. There's no other direction outside of that, right? Whereas the lab is a place where you're in community, and it's where I guide you quarterly. So quarterly in our Facebook group, I go live and help you first understand the story of the prior quarter, and then cast your vision on the next 3 months. So there's more direction in the lab. But I think, honestly, it'd be brilliant if you have the time right now to go through Life Scrub before you do the lab, because you're going to be saving yourself a lot of time in the long run. And it's really helpful just to kind of take things in stages that way. Quick question from someone live. What if we purchased last year? You are in. So that's what I was going to mention about my programs. Once you're in, you're in. And I have price increases that happen every couple of years, but you don't need to pay again once you're in. Okay, so if you joined the lab last year, then get ready to pick back up with us November 15th. Will it be beneficial if you're only at home with your kids? Yeah, it is, because again, this is about creating, designing a life, no matter whether you're a stay-at-home mom or whether you're working 9 to 5 or whether you own your own business. I mean, we all are given fresh starts each day, right? And this is really about you putting yourself in the driver's seat of your life. And hey, even in my own experience, I found that WholeFit was born out of a vision I had while I was on maternity leave. So for some of you, maybe you relate to that. Maybe you're at home right now with your kids and you're in that. But there are times where you have visions of what's next. And so this can be a really special time for you, actually, of just dreaming, right? Maybe not actioning on those things right now, but of really creating the life right now that's going to allow you to be in this season fully focused, fully present as you're home with your babies, for example, to really, and that's what the lab will help you do, is to remove unnecessary distractions. We all have them, right? We all have them, regardless of what we may do for work or how much we have on our plate. Do I have any guys in the lab? We have a lot of couples who do it together. I'm trying to think. I'd have to go through. I tend to have more women drawn to my work who are around my age level. A lot of mothers, right? Just because, and again, I'm a huge believer in teaching once you've learned and applied. And so I don't tend to have a lot of men in my programs because honestly, I have no idea what it's like to be a man, right? So there's quite a few couples though. I just got locked out of there we go. Okay, next question. I purchased the basic package last year without the coaching. How do I upgrade to the coaching so you don't need to anymore, because everything's happening in the Facebook group now? This is a common question I'm getting, because last year I offered the coaching outside of the Facebook group in a Zoom room, but I want to bring it into the private space of our group, because there we can have conversations. Hey.
Weird.
Weird.
How are you still talking? And
I'm live right now, like literally right now.
Go back at it.
Anybody relate to that?
You did?
Yes. Hors d'oeuvres, please. On a tray.
My wisdom?
So anyway, everything's happening in the Facebook group. So you don't need to add any additional packages, because that way we can like actually keep the conversations there rather than. And honestly, you guys, sidebar, I'm not a big fan of Facebook these days. Even at the time of this recording, I'm in Facebook jail right now. I can't even comment in my groups. I have no idea why. Save that for another day. But at this point, Facebook within private group settings is a great place to create community. I do believe there will be better platforms that evolve in the next few years. There is nothing right now. So, I mean, I've always played around with options like, do I move this onto Kajabi or do I, but it's the community piece that's so important. And when you take something out into other platforms, you don't see as much of that magic. So, the time of this recording, I'm sticking with it. Okay, will there be any promos or sales? I typically do promos the Cyber Weekend, but it won't be as good as the promo code in the Life Scrub. So if you want to grab Life Scrub, use the promo code for the lab. You'll have Life Scrub covered and have even extra funds to put towards the lab. Okay, some duplicate questions. Let me just see. And if there's something you guys I haven't answered yet and you're on live, then please post it because there was a lot of duplicates in the Q&A from yesterday. When does it start? If we bought it last year, do we need to repurchase? No. I have a newborn and a 2-year-old. Is this something that I can do while being a stay-at-home mom? Yes. So last year, we started the lab work assignments in December to prepare for and I don't like the whole New Year's thing. It wasn't to parlay it into that. It was really just to leverage the energy of January 1st and the fresh start of a year. But last year we just didn't quite have enough time to move through the assignments effectively. So this year I'm backing it up a couple weeks. We're starting mid-November. Instead of every day, it's every other day, and there's 10 assignments. So the basic, you start off by tracking your time. You track your hours for at least 3 days to give you a really good look at where your time's going. And then you start to dream drop. You start to just drop visions and dreams that you have right now into the wheel, which incorporates 4 quadrants of your life. And you look at cleaning up. So I have various tutorials in the program for starting to clean up those realms in your life and some of this is the work from Life Scrub, so that as you're setting goals, you're not layering things on, you're coming into your goals. And some people get really thrown off by the word goal. I want to acknowledge something here. It's okay to not have goals all the time. Like, you don't have to constantly be doing, evolving. Like, it's okay. But at times, we know when it's time for us to go to that next level of intention in an area of our life. And that's really the work within the lab. It's looking at the 4 realms of the areas that are most important to us and thinking about what would this look like if this was my vision for my best life in this area. Like when you talk about relationships, when you talk about finances, when you think about your self-care, when you think about your work, what would it look like in those areas to have your vision of your best life happening, and how can you make small movements in the direction of what that would look like and feel like? And that's what so you're tuning in. What I have found in doing this work is that every season tends to have more of a feel to it. So for example, right now I'm kind of still in it, starting to taper out of it, but I'm in a very busy season within my work. It's taking everything to the next level. I'm in a lot of creation right now for the various aspects of my business. And then I taper into relationships and just hibernating in a way with my kids, with my husband. And, and even like right now we're in Florida, and this fills a couple of different buckets, but strategically for me, we do this, we travel out here to have isolated downtime together, but also a fresh environment for me to be able to do deep states of focus within my work. So we hit a couple of things there, but it's strategic, the timing of it, because of the realm that I'm satisfying right now. So let me see. Purchased last year. What is the time commitment involved? So I would say with the lab work, there's about 10 assignments there, and I would give yourself 1 to 2 hours per assignment. Now that, again, you might not do them all before the new year, but then once that's done, I teach you to do simple reflections every Sunday, to look at the prior week and then plan out your upcoming week. So there's like an hour each week I recommend. And then quarterly, it's taking a little bit of a deeper look at the vision that you had set for the year, and thinking about your upcoming quarter, and really breaking that down, and taking a look at what's made its way over to your parking lot, see if there's things on there that you want to take on this quarter, that sort of thing. So it's very, in the beginning, so in these next 2 months, there's a little more, but then throughout the year, it's just really walking out the good plan that you've built. What happens if you join later, like after the first of the year? Totally cool. So when you join, if you join, let's say in January, you just won't have the collective assignment momentum happening, but everything's going to be there for you in the units of our Facebook group. So you'll have your program book, and then you can go through the units, and all of the assignments are there, and everything that's in your program book is also in the units of our Facebook group, just for ease of access. So you can just move it along at your own time. Do existing members have to pay again for updated content? No. So my plan is this Sunday afternoon, I'm going to send out the updated, the program ebook for this year. It's going to go out to your inboxes. So for those of you that are students in the lab, if you purchased last year, you'll get the updated content, and then obviously it'll be posted in our Facebook group as well. I wanted to do it, but I'm already overwhelmed. What's the time commitment? Yeah, so kind of similar to the last question, but if you're coming into this feeling like you're in the muck right now, if you feel like you're already overwhelmed, then what I would do is just have a look at the assignments and then decide when you'll be able to do them. So maybe all you do before the new year is track your time for 3 days, so that you have something substantial to look at and make some decisions based off of. It's really eye-opening. That's the reason that's assignment number 1. It's really eye-opening to be honest about where our time's going. So then at least we can decide differently, right? Because sometimes we think we're doing things, or we feel like we're working really hard on things. And when we actually look at it, we realize that we were spending more time than we thought distracted, right? And so then if we're honest with ourselves, we can think, okay, when I sit down to do the work, if I'm only I'm going to work an hour a day, let's say, and I'm going to do more in this hour than I was before thinking I was working 6 hours, okay? Okay, so that was it for the questions, because I'm just scrubbing through, a lot of them were duplicates. So, hey Gwen, and if you guys have any more, pop them in here, otherwise we'll end this in about a minute. Gwen said, what are some signs that we are reaching that ceiling? Anything to watch out for so that we can stay on course? I love that question so much, because this is something I deal with. I'm sure you all deal with it and have felt it. Maybe you are feeling like that right now. So, hey Erin, you'll notice that you're looking for ways to sabotage yourself. I think that the most popular form of sabotage is to be looking around at what everyone else is doing. So I would say if you find yourself more concerned with what everyone's up to, with looking at what everyone else is doing on Instagram and Facebook, if you find yourself spending most of your time each day looking around you and outside of you, that can be a good indication that you've lost your clarity on where you're going, or you're feeling uncomfortable. And so you start to bring in a lot of the voices of other people. Another example is you start to say yes to things, and you take on things that were not yours to take on. So you have foggy boundaries, or you're easily led by other people to take on their stuff, that can be an indication, because it's like emotionally you're open, you're feeling the weight of everybody and everything around you, and you feel like you have to take everything on. That's a form of upper limiting, because you're actually trying to distract yourself from doing your best work. And sometimes our best work only happens when we are in a state of joy and fulfillment, because that higher energy charges our best work. Okay. Other forms, honestly, I think those are the two big things: being distracted and having rocky boundaries, because both of those things will lead you to just be really stuck in the mud, and it'll lead you to be overwhelmed and looking around too much, and it'll lead you to feel crappy in your life. You'll feel heavy. You're taking on the weight of the world and everyone around you. And if we all did that, you guys, things would never move forward, because things move forward when you move forward, okay? And so I want to encourage you that if you're struggling with that, this is, again, to bring it back to this topic, this is where the lab really serves you, is it helps you move into a higher level of leadership in your own life. Put those blinders on to stay focused, and to as the world's talking constantly, trying to tell you every which way you should go, and everything you should be doing, and everything you should be caring about, and everything. There's just, that could be a full-time job in and of itself if you allow that in, but then nothing truly moves forward. So I want you to think about what you feel at this point in your life you know you're here to impact and do, and ask yourself, what more do you need to say no to in order for that to happen? That is like the biggest question when it comes to truly leading your life. Yeah. Gwen commented saying, "Thank you. Yes, we need to be an observer of our behaviors, not judge, but steer back in our own lane." Yeah. And we all get off track, myself included, right? So, I've created this lab, but I'm very much a student of it. Okay, right there with you, and it has served me so well, these principles and disciplines, because. Also, just so you know, I'm not a disciplined person. I know myself well enough to know what I need in my life to create and give my best. And so I have to have protocols in place so that I don't just go willy-nilly in my work, and I don't, I create rhythms. And this is what I've put into this lab, right? It's been over a decade of learning how to really lead your life from the front. And that's what you're going to really step into through this program. So, babe, dinner, we're gonna eat at 6. I've got to go out and find an outdoor rug. We got the kids involved today too. We were cleaning up outside and scrubbing and polishing wood. That reminds me, I want to go put some Arbor Vitae on that wood. Oh, so good. We use that in the sauna at home. It's my favorite oil. Sandra, some of you joining in late, you can find the lab. If you go, I'll actually put it in the comments one more time, but it's kind of a long URL. So you can find it if you go to my bio on Instagram, or if you go to wholefit.com and go to, even it's on the main page. You can go to offerings and it's right there. If you just search lab, it'll come up. You could even Google Beautiful Life Lab and it'll come up. Okay, I gotta go run some errands, but thank you guys for joining in live. Thanks for your questions. And one last quick one with Pam. What dry sauna do I recommend? So we have an infrared sauna. It's a clear light. Sanctuary 3 is the one we have. Sanctuary 2 is a good one as well if there's just you and maybe one other person that's going to be going in there. Love it. It was on my vision board for years, and we use it like every single day in the winter. So Thanks, you guys, and I hope you'll consider joining us. If you are, then I would encourage you to get set up with it this weekend, because like I said, I'm going to be sending out the updated books, and then we begin the lab work November the 15th, which is right around the corner. Okay, bye, you guys.